quickly. I was dog sitting for my mom a while back. It was very late January or early February, and I'm out walking, and I feel something behind me. And it was weird because I didn't see any shadows behind me or anything. I just knew there was something behind me. So I turn around, and there's an orange dog with brownish feet that has been following me. He hasn't bit me. He's following it a very close distance. Now that I've seen him, I reach my hand out and he lets me pet him, so I thought he has to have been homed before. He was really quiet, just kept following me. When there were dogs by a fence, he would rush the fence and then talk to the dogs, but he would always come right back to me. It was weird. I had never met him before. I didn't have food on me, so I didn't know why he was following me, but at that point was kind of attached to the fact that he was following me, so I would go back whenever he was stuck in a fence, and he would just look at me and acknowledge me, and I was like, okay, maybe he's done. Maybe this is where he lives. I'd get closer to the door to start knocking, and he would run off from the door, and then look back at me like he wants me to follow him, so I would, and then he would just stop walking. I'm like, where do you want to go? Where are you going? And then he would just look at me because he doesn't speak English. So I started walking home again, and he just follows me. So he didn't want me going inside of someone's house, but he wanted to follow me. So he's leading me away from the houses, but following me. I didn't know how to read his body language. I didn't know who he was, whether he was homed. I didn't know what was going on. So I eventually led him home. And unfortunately, I couldn't take him inside because my mom's dogs were inside. And they don't know him. He doesn't know them. I don't know how he is with dogs. And I wasn't exactly expecting to find a dog outside. So I didn't have a leash or anything on me. So I go inside and I cook some eggs because I've heard eggs are good for dogs. I let them cool. I bring out a dish of water and he's waiting outside. So I feed him, give him some water, and I pet him, hang out while he's eating. And he just sits there and he hangs out with me. And it was really great. I mean, honestly, pretty much what I needed. I was alone that day, just dog sitting. And I did have my mom's dogs there to play with, and I loved them. They're wonderful. But I don't know, this weird feeling of this random dog that I have no connection to being attached to me was wonderful. He had this very noticeably long snout and these really light eyes, but he kind of just kept staring at me. And I thought he wanted to go somewhere or something, so I went inside to grab a leash. Not because he was my dog or anything, but I wanted to have a leash for him so that if he tried to run off or tried to attack a dog that was being walked in a park or something, I'd have a grip of him. And as soon as I closed the door, the first time he was fine. He knew there were other dogs in there or something. But now he starts yipping. And he lets out the most high-pitched sound I have ever heard a dog make. It sounded more feline-like, and it was a cry, and I was sad that he was so upset. So I start rushing outside, and he's gone. And that sounds terrifying. The sound he was making was not one of pain. It sounded much more like he was just sad or calling or something. There were no tire tracks or no cars, like he wasn't kidnapped or taken in by somebody. But I couldn't shake it, so I kept going around looking for this dog. And I never found a trace of him. I don't think this is a ghost dog or anything, so I go inside and I spend the next hour looking up dog breeds and listening to them speak. The only dog-like creature that makes that noise is a fox. And I didn't know this, but orange foxes, or red kit foxes, I believe, are actually native to the place that I live. They just don't live in the area that I do. But he was so social. He seemed like he was someone's. I'm wondering if, sort of like what's happened to coyotes in my area, people dump trash. The coyotes take the trash and eat it with their pack. And they know that humans create trash. So coyotes in my area don't attack humans. And they keep their distance, but they don't run from us unless we chase them. They'll sit there and they'll look at us, but they won't flee just because they see us, because they don't want to hurt us, and they trust us to make trash so that they can eat it. And I'm wondering if this potential fox had that same story, but maybe since he's different, maybe he wasn't as skittish as coyotes, so he knew I made trash as a human being, so he decided to follow me and wait for me to make trash. And then I brought him eggs, so obviously we're friends, but maybe me bringing him those eggs was to him me saying, like, here's the trash, like, I'm not giving you more or something, which wasn't my point, but that might be what impression he got from it. And I'm legitimately to this day doubting that I met a fox, but at the same time, like, I met a fox just in the wild. And so those sounds that I heard that I asked people not to be concerned about a second ago, that's just how foxes call each other. I'm hoping he found his home. Now that I know more of what happened, I really wish that I had taken, like, I don't know, taken down the area where I've met him or called some sort of animal protective services, because I don't know really all that, what all happens with all that. I just want him to have found his pack again, or his group, his nest. I don't know what a fox's pack is called. But yeah, I wanted to share that short story just to chronicle my times with this orange dog that may or may not have been a fox, because it was magical. Definitely one of my favorite experiences, and I'm curious what other similar experiences people have had. But yeah, that fox, that guy is gonna live with me forever in my mind. And absolutely, if I saw him again, I would be ecstatic. I'd always be willing to feed him again. My only concern is, where we were. I didn't see any other foxes or coyotes. I do hear coyotes calling at night in the area sometimes, but his color pattern I didn't see. I was looking it up, but I didn't see any coyotes that get that same color pattern. But yeah, I mean, it's great. He looked just like a fox. I can't even. I'm pretty sure he was a fox. He, he's got to be. But yeah, I really felt like sharing that, just if nothing else, than to chronicle that experience. But anyway, thank you all, and have a great rest of your time until I see you. Take care.